In my view, every single program, every single activity, all our business development work, all goes a long way to actually transforming local community life and making people not just simply aware, but making, empowering local people to have greater say, influence over services in their community, but also over how decisions are made, how plans are formulated, and how change is implemented locally.
Okay, I think that in their different ways, many of the things that locality already does are making contributions step by step towards more socially just communities. But of course we could go further. In our community organising programme, we talk about igniting the impulse to act, helping to find ways for people to mobilise themselves individually and in groups, in association, collectively, to bring about change on their own terms. And I think we could take that spirit, that way of thinking about how change can be driven, how power can be turned on its head. I think we can take that further forward through some of our other work around community ownership, neighbour planning, the new Our Place programme. I think if we can do that, we'll be seeing a different kind of change that is allowing people to become the solution and not the problem. And it does quite fundamentally challenge the way things are often done at the moment.
Locality's received over 10,000 inquiries to its various community rights advice line, and I think there is where we need to look. We have an amazing array of stories about communities taking control, seeing gaps, seeing opportunities, and actually developing their own services and approaches. I think we need to be talking more about those stories. I think we also need to understand where the gaps are. Where are the missing communities that aren't phoning us, that aren't taking advantage of the new rights, that are having the same problems but not actually able to develop solutions? We need to understand what's happening there and what the barriers are. And I think if we were to share that information, debate it, discuss it, actually find ways forward together, then I think that's how Locality could best use its programme information.
I think the work that we're doing with communities on community rights, particularly the community right to bid and also taking over assets of community value, is one of the most important pieces of work that we're doing at the moment, partly because it gives communities a stake in acquiring an asset in their area, in their neighbourhood, and effectively it's going to see the transfer of a building or land from private ownership or government or public ownership to community ownership. And that is really important in terms of giving an asset and value to something in a community that can be built from.
I think community organisers is really powerful. I think that gives power directly to individuals right in the heart of communities. I think it also helps to change perceptions within those communities about the power that they have themselves to make changes. It also helps to bring skills and actual knowledge, which is great.
Yeah, I would identify Lifeboat. The Lifeboat Fund is a designated fund. It's part of our reserves that the Board of Trustees has put aside £250,000 to help social organisations that are in financial or other difficulty, whose mere survival is at risk. And I think the likes of Neil Trupp and Dave Clarkson have done some fantastic work in the last year, turning around some social enterprises that without the Lifeboat Fund would have most definitely fallen by the wayside.